We are having a readings of the Soul Portal map today. So I'm here with three of my friends. My name's Renee Varnador, and you landed in Soul Portal Journeys. So welcome, welcome. What we do here is we sing in the archangels before we start. And I think I'm going to record on this computer just in case. Okay, so yay. What we do when we call in the angels is we sing them in. I'm going to share screen, and it's got the lyrics of the seven archangels that I'm calling in. Okay, now why seven? Isn't there four directions? Well, we start with the east, which is behind me. Then we go south, west, north, below, above, within. So figure out where east is for you, and then you'll be able to figure the rest of it out. Okay, here we go. Here's the lyrics. Carrie.
I want to mute everyone.
Let me make you co-host. Usually make Carrie co-host before we start live, but here we go. Better late than never. There you go, Carrie. Okay, here we go. Share screen. Woo. And this is where I actually wanted to be. This is the lyrics for the song we're about to sing. There we go. Okay, everybody standing up and facing east. Spirits of the east, air and inspiration, Archangel Raphael, please come. Spirits of the south, fiery creative spirits, Archangel Michael, please come. Spirits of the west, watering loving spirit, Archangel Gabriel, please come. Spirits of the north, clearing spirit, Archangel Uriel, please come. Spirits of below, mother of potentiality, Archangel Sound of Fun, please come. Spirits of above, for the sky perspective change, Archangel Raphael, please come. Spirits of within, heart space gives, Archangel Hanael, please come. Okay, so we stay standing because we are now going to clear our chakras, and I'm going to play the notes on the harmonium so we can match them. We're starting with Lamb, and Una just joined us. Hi, Una. We've got people from all over here, so that's awesome. So we can start here. We can have Lamb, Bam, Ram, Yam, Ham, Om, Om. So we're just doing 7, even though there's a lot more chakras than that. So we're just doing the main 7. We're clearing them vocally. And here's the first note. Okay, so notice how you feel after doing that. And see if that is something that might work for you to do on a regular basis. That's like something I invite people to do. We are now telling God stories before the class starts. So 10 minutes before I'm on if you want to tell a God story. But today we are working with the Soul Portal map. And you can see that there are 7 things on the Soul Portal map. And I'm going to go in depth explaining what they all are. And it looks like everybody's going to get a card today. And if my cat shows up, she'll get it too. She is always, she's usually like right here going, Mommy, give me a card. So you never know. Okay, so we're a pretty good group today. Carrie's from San Diego. I'm in Baja California, Mexico. Melody's in Portland, Oregon. Una is back east. Is it New Hampshire, New Jersey, Massachusetts?
North Carolina.
Carolina. Oh, I totally missed that one. Okay, and then Bonnie is from Alberta, Canada. So let's see. And we're expecting another person from Baja. We'll see if they show up. Okay, so we've got the Soul Portal map. And the idea of the Soul Portal map, when I first started it, is to realize that we really move in cycles. And when I moved to Mexico, I just was so happy to let go of linear time and realize that we really moved in cycles. And you can see the moon in its cycle. We got a new moon. We got a new moon that goes, and it moves like this through the elliptical. And it just kind of goes above the elliptical and below the elliptical and back above. And it kind of does this kind of dragon pattern, and it goes through different phases, and it does it every month. And it ends up, because it's not perfectly aligned to what the sun's doing, we end up going through all of the positions that we call the signs of the zodiac in the sky. So we're there in each of those positions in the sky have different energies. I mean, people a long time ago made up, oh, this set of stars is this constellation. And of course, all of those constellations have moved, and modern astronomers say astrology is BS because everything moved. No, it's all about the position of the sky. It's all about, and there's stars that happen to be there. You know, it's rather interesting. So we've got the planets, and the planets all go through cycles. And of course, we know the sun goes through a cycle every day. And guess what? So we, while we're in bodies on the earth, we go through cycles too. And I noticed, like, for years and years and years, I used to complain, oh, not this again. Oh, I already went through this. What? Well, duh, we're in cycles. So it's not like a huge, I used to think it was a huge tragedy and something was bad, wrong. I messed up somehow. And it wasn't until 3 years ago that I realized I didn't mess up anything. Everything was just happening the way it was supposed to happen. I just suffered over it if my little self thought it should be otherwise. So, and my little self isn't running the show all the time anymore, just some of the time. So life's a lot better. The more I'm in touch with and accepting of whatever is happening as far as the cycles go. Oh, good. Who popped in? Who popped in? I'm going to stop looking at me. It's Lupe. Happy birthday yesterday, Lupe. How are you? She's good. Lupe, you can talk if you want. she's trying to figure out. Okay, so Lupe, I'm in the middle of explaining the Soul Portal map and how it's a cycle. And here we go. We've got all these words on the side that are synonyms for the words that I chose to use here. Different spiritual teachers and traditions, she must have had a problem, use different words for these different positions. So I first started to realize, you know what, we're moving in cycles. when I was studying Hinduism and the ancient Vedas, which are thousands of years old, and realizing that we had the create, sustain, destroy cycle in Hinduism. And it was just like the universe was created by Lord Brahma, but he needed help from Saraswati. So we have the male and the female goddess energy aligned doing each of these things. So we've got the create, Lord Brahma and Saraswati, and then we've got sustain with Vishnu and Lakshmi. And Lakshmi is all about standing in abundance, that we are standing in abundance, and Vishnu is like sustaining, and this whole sustain energy of keeping things moving, keeping things going, that whole energy. And then the destroy cycle, Shiva, the destroyer, and Parvati, who is much more devotional. So we see Shiva's energy as really, really destroy, but Parvati is more like softer version, and it's more like clearing out old beliefs that don't serve us anymore. And so sometimes that can feel like an earthquake or a volcano, but it's really, what it is really doing is it's clearing our central channels so that we more of reality, more of what's actually going on can come into us. And a lot of times we can't even put that into words. But if we clear out our channel, then we're not just walking around from our head. We can actually walk around with all of our chakras, cleared and alive and there. And, we, as long as we're in bodies, we're going to have parts of us that are like a little lost and confused. But as the more we can clear, the more we can bring back and heal within us, around us, and heal our bodies, heal our energies. I had a spiritual teacher that took this concept in Hinduism and added the word void to it. And I have the word void right here under potentiality, but I never liked that word. I was always like, what? Now I'm feeling nothing. I'm supposed to feel nothing. I'm supposed to go into the void, and that never appealed to me. And I always, every time I came to that point in the cycle, I always thought, oh my gosh, I'm in a depression. Oh, great. Okay. And then I would just like not leave the house for a couple of months. And I would beat myself up over that because I live in a culture that says you got to do all the time. Busy, give. So we have very time oriented, solar conscious, do, busy. And the potentiality is actually slowing down long enough to receive. So thank goodness for the last 10 years, 15 years or so, we've started to wake up a little bit and say, it's not just the go masculine energy that we need. We need to integrate that with the feminine energy, the divine feminine rising. So we've got the divine masculine and the divine feminine that we're integrating, that we're moving through, that's moving through us. So we've got the gods and goddesses and our human self and our divine self merging. We've got our masculine side and our feminine side, or our yin and our yang, our receiving and our giving sides integrating. So, and integration can be a process where it's not necessarily comfortable. Our poor little body may get some aches and pains and some tinglings and some, some issues, and we get to breathe into that. We get to bring the light into that. And we get to just breathe up and down all of the energies that we're trying in our receiving mode to process. So many of us, we were talking before we went live, many of us raised our hand and said, oh yeah, the intense energy of the full moon eclipse a couple of days ago just kicked my butt. So if that happened for you, you're not alone. When that happens, need to go into receiving mode and just be embraced by the universe in whatever names we want to give it. I call in archangels. I call in Mary Magdalene. These days. I call in Mother Mary these days. So those are you can call in whoever you want. You can call in Saraswati. She's the goddess of music. So we've got all of these. I used to teach drama. So after potentiality, you get into what I'm calling here a perspective change. And what that really is an awakening. It's a switch in the brain. So you're just kind of like, whoa. And so that's where I have awakening, is that perspective change. And after perspective change, if you're clear, if your womb energy is clear, that's like the lower chakras are clear, you're going to be able to not just have all of this inspiration stuff happening in your head, popping, driving you crazy, but you're going to be able to bring it down into the body and then figure out what it is that you're trying to create and actually manifest something. So a lot of people I know get a lot of ideas buzzing around, especially right now when we've got Saturn and Uranus in the sky, about to go into a square in about 14 days. We're heading into a time where we're going to have a lot of inspiration, and the more we're able to move that into creating, the better off we're going to be. So we're going to be moving our inspirations into our womb space to help be able to grow and create. We move into creativity. So everybody's creative. We might not want to put your creation in a gallery. We may not want to put your play on Broadway, but everybody is creative. So, we might not be on The Voice. That doesn't mean you don't get to sing. You get to sing. And so we use and give our creative gifts in whichever way comes up for us. And it helps us give what we are perceiving, what our gifts are. We all have individual gifts, and we all have unique creations. I've got some amazing entrepreneurs here. Melody and Bonnie are creating amazing businesses. And I know Una creates amazing things. And Carrie has created some amazing workshops and things. And Lupe, if she gets back on here, there she is. Lupe creates wonderful, wonderful things. She does beautiful angels. And okay, so then we bring the creative energy into sustaining, clearing. And after we go through all this clearing, which I used to think was torturous, awful, and no fun at all, now I just go, oh, full moon eclipse. Yeah, schedule in clearing, schedule in self-care, schedule in a massage, schedule in a Reiki session. Let's just do it. And if we do that, we'll be able to see inside our hearts enough to notice the gift there. Some of the gifts I've noticed inside myself was diamonds, being able to look at different facets. That's always cool. Gold and treasure, being able to feel streams of gold moving through. And that's always really nice if you're trying to create something, to be standing in the stream, the golden stream. Eckhart Tolle basically said that his inspiration while he was working on The Power of Now, which is like one of the most famous spiritual books in the last 20 years, he was standing in a golden stream the entire friggin' time, the couple months that it took him to write that book. And so I thought that was very interesting. Not every one of us is going to publish a book like The Power of Now, but we can all find the golden stream energy and stand in it. So here's the cycle. I talked mostly on this picture. Didn't talk that much on these pictures here, but I'm seeing this as perspective change, because we look outside and we see the crescent moon. And really, the moon is full all the time. It's just from our perspective on the earth that the moon looks like a crescent moon. So we have to know, when we look at ourselves and we look at our lives, sometimes it looks like a crescent moon. Sometimes it looks like a waning crescent. Sometimes it looks like a waxing crescent. Like we had it all together and where did it all go? Or, oh my gosh, I'm missing so much. Look what all these other people have got. But it's just, we're always whole. We're not broken. We don't need to be fixed. We're just perceiving the crescent moon phase. So that's perspective change, to be able to realize it's all okay. Everything is okay. Okay, so then inspiration can come in little water drops, like drop, 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 drop. Okay, and it can collect in a pool. When we get inspiration, we want to have our chakras cleared and know about them so that the chakras can become containers for our inspiration, and then containers for our wisdom. And we can draw, when we're ready to create, we can draw from that well. And these drops can fall very slowly, or they can fall very quickly like a light rain, or they can just be like a storm. Like when we've got full moon eclipse energy, it feels more like a storm. But it's just kind of like, we can often, if we're getting really, really fast downloads and it's like freaking my poor body out, I'll just say, okay, slow down a little bit. Universe, give me the inspiration in drops, please. And that works sometimes. So creativity. Humans are amazing when we use our big brains to do amazing creative things, like create arches within cathedrals. And so there's all kinds of things and structures and feelings that we can create. And oftentimes in our meditations, we will receive an image or a color or a word. And then my advice when that happens, what I've finally realized is that when I get images like that, those are my meditation points for a while. So right now I'm working on the tree of eternal life, or the 8 limbs of Mary Magdalene's tree. And I'm just, every morning, every evening, I check in with that image and see where I am on that tree. So that's been going on for the last few months. And then sustaining. Sustaining is like the green, the leaves, the growing, and we have different veins. And sometimes if we're in the main vein, we can kind of see more of what's going on than if we're off in a little offshoot. It doesn't mean it's bad to be off in a little offshoot, but it's nice to come back to the main vein so that we can see everything. So we know we have access back to the main vein, and I'm calling the main vein being able to connect our earthly circumstances with what our soul actually came to earth to do. And when we really are able to access and maintain that strong line of energy, that main vein, then all these little veins, all these little offshoots, we can like always go back, especially now that we're more receptive into the receiving energies. So I know that I used to think my life was a friggin' mess when I would kind of go off into these little offshoots, and I'd be over here, and then I'd be over here, and then this year I'd be doing that, and I'd be like, oh, man. But when I realized that everything that I was doing related to the main vein, I no longer had to beat myself up over it. So clearing, a lot of times, clearing feels like fire, it feels like a volcano, it feels like, or an earthquake, so it can be really fiery, and we can burn up the things that are no longer serving us that once did into actual ashes. When I was a child, it really worked for me to wear the cloak of invisibility. That was my superpower. Nobody knew what I thought, and I never said anything. I just observed, absorbed, and learned. And that no longer served me once I became an adult. And it took me a long time to be able to burn that and to be actually sharing, the ideas that I'm talking about, about 400 or 500 years ago, people would be burned at the stake for it. So kind of interesting there, all that fire. So here we go. After the fire comes the gift, like we were talking about the diamond. And I've got feathers here because feathers remind me that when I see a feather, it reminds me that I'm always supported, I'm always guided, and that yes, I'm following my guidance. And then potentiality is that space that I now love that I used to call depression and beat myself up over. Potentiality is this like gorgeous, gorgeous state of unmanifested creativity. It's this state of a field of stars. It's a state that is just like anything is possible, everything is possible. So that's potentiality. And it's like pure. And making and setting intentions from this place of pure potentiality before going around and to the next stage. If I'm going from a place of pure potentiality, when I go into a sense of awakening, inspiration, creativity, sustaining, clearing, and the gift, when I'm going from that place, what I end up creating is a lot more valuable than when I'm just listening to the voices of the outer world that are like noisy and clanging and whatever. When I am willing to go within, when I am willing to stay aligned with my higher purpose and my higher self and my higher guidance, then moving that forward is a lot better. I'm anyway, okay. So here again, we're back at the soul portal map, and I'm asking you guys all the question, where are you on the map right now? And this can change, and it does, it can change from day to day, and because you're focused on different veins of your life. So anybody, if you want to answer this question before I start pulling cards for the next half an hour, anybody want to answer this question, unmute and answer this question? Carrie always knows where she is on the map. Go, Carrie, go.
Well, with this full moon energy, it seems like I'm all over the map, and experiencing a little bit of sustaining, a little bit of potentiality. But what's coming through really clear is the clearing, and sort of that fire and digging up all the old stuff that doesn't serve anymore. So I'm going to go with clearing right now.
Okay, awesome. Okay, anybody else have an idea of what in the heck is going on with them? If you're not sure, if these words don't resonate with you, look over at the ones on the side. These are all synonyms here on the side. Anybody else? Unmute if you want to share. Una, go.
I feel the same as Carrie. It's like all over the place with this energy. So there's so much going on simultaneously.
Simultaneously happening. Okay, so clearing. Yeah, I pull. If I don't know where I am, I have all of these. Words on a card, and I'll pull a card. The last 3 days, I pulled the card clearing. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So it makes sense. Melody, go.
I was just going to say, I can't see the words. The picture on the screen is too tiny for me. So,
okay.
I'm just going to trust that Spirit will give me the card that I need to see. So.
Okay. So this is, yeah, I don't understand why my picture keeps blurring, because I keep pulling in a one that isn't blurry, and then I keep coming back to here and it's blurry. So I'll try to figure that out, why this is hard. Is that a little better? No. Okay. So
I think it's the function of just being on YouTube or Zoom, that when you put something up and it's got tiny print, it's just hard to read.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to, everybody that's having the issue that Melody is having, I am going to put a link to this gift. This is a soul portal map for you guys, for everybody, and then you can just download this and print it off. And what will happen is when you do that, you will get on my email list. You guys are already on my email list, so it's not going to matter to you. You guys can just open the email I sent out today and, you know, hit this. There's a link in that email I sent today for this map, but I'm also going to put this on the live YouTube replay. So if you guys are watching in the replay, there's going to be a link. Click that link. You're going to have to go through put your email address and my name and not my name, your name, and say, yeah, I don't mind receiving your newsletter so I can hear about all of the classes that are coming up that you're teaching for free. So basically that's it. Lupe, go.
I was thinking of gifts because, you know, I've had a month of celebrating my birthday and the culmination was yesterday.
Yeah.
And I really feel like I've received so many gifts, and now I'm kind of like taking in the wisdom of, you know, and the joy and the peace of what I've gone through. That's what I feel like.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you, Lupe. Thank you. And happy birthday. Her birthday was yesterday.
Yesterday, I danced myself away. My son DJ is down here, and for the, you know, Memorial Weekend, he had a little, you know, music thing going on. And I was down there dancing my heart away. All 73 years of it.
Woo-hoo! Oh, Lupe, go. Okay. All right. So, Bonnie, did you want to chime in or should we move on?
Oh, I think your cat wants to chime in.
Okay, my cat wants a card too. My cat showed up just in time to be the 7th card.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna pull the cards. I'm gonna shuffle them. This is a card deck that I created. It has pictures of places that I've been that were like, oh my gosh, there's an angel in the window. Oh, let me take a picture of that. Or, oh, wow, this energy in this place is so friggin' amazing. Let me take a picture of that. Oh, look, there's a fern and it means this to me. Oh, let me take a picture of that. And so over half of the cards are like that. And then the other portion of the cards are like a picture of a diamond or anything that rose up inside me. Carrie, go.
You might want to switch the screen so everybody can see the card you're pulling.
Thank you. This is why Carrie gets.
Oh, Renee.
Yeah.
One of the pictures I took, I told my husband, you do not delete that. I've got to show it to my friend Renee. And it's a picture of, it looks like a spirit is in that picture. You know, it's just like this picture of and the way the sun came in or something. It looks like one of your pictures of the door, the angel in the door.
Yeah.
I got to show you that.
Yeah, you got to show me that. Yeah, absolutely. I want to see it. If you can't show it to me today, I want to see it tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. But Lupe's in my Mary Magdalene class, and so is Carrie. So Carrie and I get to see it tomorrow. So woo-hoo. And Una gets to see it tomorrow too. Una's in the class too. So, and Melody and Bonnie, you guys are invited. I'll talk all about the Mary Magdalene class at the very end. But I purposely made it not expensive. It is not an expensive class. So, okay, so our first person to show up today was Carrie. And Carrie, look what you got as a card today. What do you think this means?
Well, that long, cool drink of water sort of combined at this point. Well, it's interesting because it's also saying sustaining. And I just got through saying, oh, I'm in clearing, but this really is like sustaining to me. I'm really seeing the cycle, even though it's water going into the glass, I'm also thinking about the evaporation from the glass, and you get a drink from the glass. And so it's the cycle of the water going through, the cycle of sustaining
Yeah. So a lot of times when we're in the middle of clearing, it's really good if we're having a hard time with it, is to kind of rest back into that sustaining energy. This goes for all of the phases in the cycle. If we're having a hard time accepting it, embracing it, moving through it, we go to the one before it and we're like, oh yeah, I can just drink in and remember that I am living water.
Mm.
And that
That's
kind
beautiful.
of, so yeah, so this is so this for me is saying that, Carrie, you are becoming a clearer and clearer container for the living water or the life force flow that we all are. So that's what it's saying to me. Does that resonate with you?
Yes. Yes, it sure does.
Because it's sometimes, especially when we're having really intense eclipse energies, that our containers get murky, or we don't have the capacity to hold and integrate the energies that are coming in, and they're just like triggering us instead of, which happen if you're not conscious of what's happening, you're going to get triggered by this kind of energy, as opposed to being able to create a container for it, clear through, like you're filtering through, and being able to use the flow and be able to rest back into the sustaining that can happen.
Well, that sounds really cool, because I had felt like there was new clarity coming in, but without the new container, you don't really know how to relate to this new clarity, and it can be overwhelming. So that makes sense. Okay.
Right. So yeah, so when everything feels like new, you're in new territory, you're growing, you're in 3 different spiritual classes, and you're growing here and there and everywhere, you're like, it's really important to say, yeah, I have a container right here for this energy. I have a container right here for this energy. I have a container here for this energy. So you're looking at your chakras as containers for the incoming energy. And the more that you really know your chakras and the different kinds of, because it's not all thought, it's not all heart, it's not all gut wisdom. There's all different ways of being and thinking and feeling and moving through the universe. And a lot of it's wordless, but it's flow. And the more we can embrace the wordless stuff, the more that we're going to be able to become a clear container, because words will eventually come to explain it to somebody else. So here, because it's like, okay, I get it. I don't know how to explain to anybody else, but oh, Renee, you've blossomed. What's going on? I don't know, but I know what you're talking about. So here you go. So that's Carrie's card. And Carrie is saying that we should put it on sustaining as opposed to clearing, even though she feels like she's in the middle of clearing right now. So I'm going to put it next to sustaining. We might change that depending on the rest of the cards that come up for everybody. But right now, I'm just putting it over there. Okay, so our next person that showed up today was Melody. So Melody gets this card. Oh, she got Una's card. Look. So Melody, what do you think is going on in this card? Oh, please, unmute Melody. She's still, Melody, you're still muted.
There. Does it say plethora of transformation? Is that what it says?
That's what it says.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Well, I I feel like that, yes. Yeah, trying to move into this entrepreneurial space. It's definitely, shedding an old skin and growing into something very new. It clearly is a spiritual part of my spiritual journey. It is causing me to have a lot more trust in the invisible realms. And yep, yep. So that's
Yeah.
a good one. Oh, can I
Yeah.
take a screenshot of that? Let's see how I could do that.
Yeah, what's going to happen is right after this, I'm going to take a picture of all 7 of the cards that we have, and we'll put them on the map, and then everybody will get it in the Facebook group, and it'll be the thumbnail for the replay of the YouTube live. So you guys will all be able to see your pictures.
Good, thanks.
So, okay, so my take on this is that there are how many butterflies are there in this picture, Melody?
1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 I'm seeing.
Okay, good. So she's seeing her butterflies, and she's even seeing this white one here at the top.
Oh, I missed that one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, so there's the one up here, the really spiritual white butterfly is the one that's the kind of overseeing and understands all of these transformations. Like, and I know my little self doesn't always understand what the heck, but there is, at least one that does always know. And I'm going to trust that. And it's like, okay, teach a Mary Magdalene class. Oh, really? What's that going to look like? I don't know. Luckily, I keep getting next week's download for the lesson plan. So it's like, okay, I trusted all the way for 7 months through the Embody Your Spiritual Awakening class. I had a map. I knew what I was going to teach, right? Oh, it was all different every week. It was like, boom, there it is. Oh, yeah. And it matched up, with what I said was going to happen. And I didn't know. So this part of me did.
Yes.
So this is the part I'm trusting with the Mary Magdalene class.
Yes. Yes.
And it's just like, if I don't get an idea, I'm just going to copy my mentor. And if I get an idea, then we're going with that. So it's just like, that's it.
Good.
So that's kind of how we do it. So yeah, so you've got a lot of different things going on, but you're drawing from some amazing life experiences that you've had. And all of these skills are just really important for you. And they're developed, and you're flying with them. You're soaring with, 3 or 4. You identified 4 different areas of transformation and skills that you've learned and, possess. Okay. And you were talking and telling me about how you are trusting more and more and more the one that knows what the heck's going on.
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
So that, okay. And where are we going to put this card on the map? Anybody got an idea? I don't know. Let's put it aside and think about that, because we want to see the rest of the cards. Okay, let's see. Our next person that showed up was Una. Is that right? Or was it Bonnie? No, it was Bonnie. Okay, so Bonnie, this is your card. And there is a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh, and Thich Nhat Hanh is a Buddhist monk who wrote a lot of amazing books, him. And this is a quote from him that says, enlightenment is when a wave realizes it's the ocean. So let's unmute Bonnie. And Bonnie, is there anything that you want to say about this card?
It's making me cry.
Yeah.
This morning, when I was meditating, for the first time in, it's probably more than a year, I was getting flooded with actions. And I've certainly been in a time of retreat, and anyway, that it doesn't matter, but it was actions, and every one of them was making me it was making my heart sing. Oh, I would love to do that. And now I can. Oh, I'd love to do that. And I could even do that by Wednesday. And oh, Oh, that would be so fun. That seems, I don't know if that's like the wave realizing it's the ocean, but
Mhm.
oh my goodness. Can you read it again? Because I want to write it down.
Okay, yeah, it'll be in the picture, but it
Oh, right.
says enlightenment is when a wave realizes it is the ocean.
Thank you. Wow.
So yeah, just that realization that we are part of, that we are not separate from. I mean, we have this whole tradition that was misunderstood and mistranslated that tells us that we are separate from the universal source, and we're not. And when we realize that, it's like friggin' amazing. So it just tapping into that is just gorgeous, and staying with that and remembering and going back to that main vein. This is like the main vein. Oh yeah, I'm part of this divine source.
Yeah.
So this is beautiful. And yeah, absolutely. If one of the amazing actions that came to you, you can get done by Wednesday, then for sure start with that one and do it. Because I know I get a list of things to do, and it's just like, okay, well, whichever one I can do this week is the one that I will do. Yeah. So I, write them all down, but because more will come. If you take action, more will come. And, you'll just have to tell the other ones to wait in line until you're done with this one.
Okay. Thank you.
So here, so this is the alignment. Do we know where this goes yet, or should we look at the other cards? I think we should look at the rest of the cards. Okay.
I do too.
So I'm going to put that one down. And now we've got Una's card. So Una, wow, I keep getting this card. Una, what do you think this card means?
Let me see. I can't see it. Is it like looks like a barn looking out to the ocean?
Yep, that's it.
Well, it's interesting to come after that last card that we are all part of the same ocean.
Right.
And I'm not sure what to make of that card at this particular moment, but I look forward to hearing your insight. Maybe that will jog something.
Okay. So yeah. So we see. We can see the ocean. We see what's there. We see that we are part of this infinite, eternity here out in the ocean. My husband was in the Navy. Whenever he looks at the ocean, he feels eternity. So we've got this open the door and see eternity whenever you want. You know how to open this door. You know how to leave this door open. The rest of this, what the container that you haven't left yet, is the structure that's falling apart. Okay, and so you're going to have to move out into the unknown soon, but not yet. So as soon as you know and trust that you're going to be completely and utterly supported when you walk out of your old crumbling life, you'll be all right. I mean, so I think for you, this is more metaphorical. When I keep pulling this card lately, for me, it's literal, because I'm moving. And we tore out the bathtub, and we tore off the tile, and we were like, oh my gosh, all of the steel beams that were creating the bathroom are all rusted, and we're pulling out that, and oh look, this piece of door frame fell off. Okay, let's pull off the entire door frame. So this is what our house we just bought looks like right now. This our bathroom looks like this, literally. But I know that we are building, and while my husband and I are going through this renovation, we basically decided that what we both have to like everything that we're doing to the new house. Like we both love the tile that's going in this bathroom. It's very meditative. It's gorgeous. And we both love the fact that we're getting a whirlpool tub. We both love that, you know. So, and if there's anything that I'm like fall in love with that he doesn't like, we don't do it. And if there's anything that he wants, like, I'll just go, honey, okay, we'll put that on the list. And he's got, I gave him one room. I gave him the guest bathroom, and he's going to make it this like dark, moody bathroom, and he's going to be able to do whatever he wants in there because he likes those dark, moody colors sometimes. So, you know, we're both deciding together, and that's not always easy when you go to the store together and you have to make choices really quick because you want your workers to have everything that they need on Monday. So yeah, so and with eclipse energy and with Eris and Mars fighting, and you know, there's all these fights going on in the sky, and it was just, and then Venus is like active and she wants everything beautiful. So my Venus is just like really wants all this beautiful stuff in the house. So, you know, we're having fights in the middle of the faucet store in the middle of the Home Depot. But when I say fights, what I mean was we're both really tired and we're like, honey, I really don't want a mirror that's got numbers on it. It's like, okay, honey. And then I'm like, okay, I put my foot down there. Honey, what faucet do you want? Really? You like this one? Okay, we'll go with that one. So it's just like realizing that I'm feeling the energies that are in the sky, feeling the cosmic energies. And then that's where the free will comes in when I say, oh, that's my Venus that wants a beautiful glass shelf, but this isn't going to work for us in a practical way. So my little Venus is going to go and put that glass shelf back. So what I'm trying to say is that we have free will not to get triggered. And if we are aware of potentially what could go wrong or what could be an issue for us, if we don't want to get in the fight with our husband, we go, oh, okay, there's energies in the sky that can make that happen. I could get triggered by that if I'm tired. So I don't want to go to the Home Depot tired. I want to make sure we eat before we go. And I don't want to like put my foot down and get stubborn over something that's not practical. So, you know, we get to learn and we get to have free will. And, you know, my husband and I are actually certified, our marriage is totally intact. That's where we go through this remodel. Carrie, go.
You're muted. Carrie, you're muted.
Okay, Carrie, I can't hear you.
I muted myself instead of me. Okay. It seems like it's a potential thing. And that whole open door really appeals at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think is going on with this card? I mean, it's your card.
Well, I think I am potentially stepping out of the old into a new situation in a few different ways at this exact moment. So one of them is a potential trip up to New Jersey on Friday. So actually to the sea. So,
okay. So there is a literal element to this card. Also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So there's something for you there, and you get to explore that. That's awesome. Beautiful. Okay. And now our card for Lupe. I'll pause left. She didn't get her card. But here's Lupe. Lupe, you got this one again. What do you see in it today? Okay, unmute, Lupe. Lupe, unmute. So this.
There's some trees, some old trees with a lot of roots, and it's given me some support. And there's a lot of things going on. I don't like that. It seems like there's a lot of branches, you know, that I could, you know, that I can venture out on.
Yeah.
I kind of think that's what it's saying, and that, you know, I'll be supported with whatever branch I decide to go on, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And right now, I've just finished a trip, and I'm just like, you know, like everything's unpacked, everything's put away. We just had some stuff done to the house right before we left, and that had to, you know, so I feel like I'm just, you know, moving on to whatever's next, and that I'll have some support. And there's a lot of avenues I could take, and I haven't quite, I haven't quite decided what to, except for the class I'm taking with you and the classes that I take, you know, now yoga, and hopefully Chi will start up, and you know.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and then so I'm seeing that it's just really good. I mean, you've got 4 trees. Okay, so then you've got a lot of, and these, I think of these 4 trees as sisters. And I think of each of these trees as having a huge root system, and the root system of all 4 of these trees is interconnected. Like the roots of one are, you know, within and entwined the roots of another one.
Yeah.
So, and I know you have a network of women here in Baja, because I know them. So that's really awesome. To have that kind of support, and and have support with your family who you just visited is really awesome.
Yeah, I just found out I might see my family in July. They might be coming down this way. So yeah, some potentials coming up, but right now I'm kind of like, you know, just I feel like I'm unpacked now. I'm back to my life, you know, my life before I went on this trip, and before the house was tore up. Everything's back together finally.
Awesome.
So it's nice to see that I'll have, you know, I have this support. I feel it. I feel support right now. Of course, you know, I've been getting a lot of love this month.
Beautiful. Yeah. All right, Lupe. Okay, so Lupe, where on this soul portal map is this card? What do you think?
It's on the sustainment, maybe. I don't know, because I'm going back to my main vein, you know.
Yep.
I would think it's sustainment, the way I feel it.
Okay.
All right, Carrie's giving me the thumbs up.
Carrie's like, yes.
All right.
Okay, so we've got 5 cards out here. Okay, so I'm gonna pull a card for me. Okay, I got the living water card, and when I look at this card, I remember my trip to the UK when my husband and I were seeking out the Michael lines and the Mary lines, which were really, really ancient lines way before Christianity came along and called them the Saint Michael and the Saint Mary lines. They were lines of the female deities and the male deities, and they come into, these ley lines come into alignment at different points in the UK, and this is one of the points where this little tiny waterfall is. So you can kind of see this spring, this okay, and so it's like, and this is like the water that never ceases, that is always there. It just gets tapped into. So I'm feeling kind of a depletion of energy right now. So this is really good for me to remember that I always have this, that I have these energies, that these energies have integrated. I'm just not used to them being integrated, and that they are flowing.
Would that be potentiality then?
Could be. Could be potentiality. Yeah, that would be a good place for it. Okay, and okay, so we pulled a card for each one of us, and now I'm going to pull a card for all of us. So yeah, this is what we all just went through. Okay, so this is the full moon setting over 2 years ago. This was the full moon setting over the ocean at the vernal equinox, or the springtime equinox, the one that happens in March. So this is for people in Australia, they don't call it the spring, they call it the autumnal, the autumn one. But this one, for me in the Northern Hemisphere, was the spring equinox, the full moon setting on that day. It's kind of interesting when the full moon sets on a correlation with what's going on with the sun. You kind of get a sun moon conjunction, and like the sun is like the daylight mind running around, you know, in clock time, and then the moon is more like cyclical time, the divine feminine energies. And so here we are in this beautiful commitment to divine feminine energies. Anybody have a comment about this card and why you think the group got this card? Anybody wants to, Lupe, did you want to comment on that, or are you just still unmuted? Anybody? Okay, so where do you think this goes on our map? Carrie.
I think it's a gift.
Okay, so we can look at this full moon eclipse, intense energy, as a turmoil, as a challenge, or we can look at it as a gift, because it's giving us an opportunity to work with the energy, to clear it, to stop getting triggered by this kind of stuff, and to be able to integrate incoming and new energies. So we're going to put the moon card under gift. We've decided to put Lupe's 4 trees under sustain. We're putting living water in potentiality. What do you think, Bonnie, if we put this amazing card of yours in perspective change, kind of an awakening card? Okay, Bonnie is going for that. And Carrie has felt like clearing forever, so we're going to put her card under clearing. We're going to put, what do you think of, should we put Una's card? We've got creativity and inspiration open. Which one do you think it is, Una? I think it's creativity. Anybody agree with me? Okay, so we're going to put that one there. And that means that plethora of transformation is inspiration. So there's all these different, you know, possible, you know, different butterfly, different skills, different things coming in as inspiration. Okay. All right. So I've got all of these cards down, and it's after 2 o'clock, but I'm assuming that you guys don't mind waiting for another few minutes so I could talk about the entire wheel of what's happening. Is everybody okay with that? If you have to leave, go ahead. But if you can stay, I'm going
to have to leave. Renee, thank you so much. This was wonderful. And I'll just watch the last of it on the YouTube.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for coming, Melanie.
Well, it was lovely to be here with all of you. Thank you.
Yes, we enjoyed having you here. Thank you so much. Come back anytime.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so we're going to start with perspective change. I'm going to look at the map again. I'm going to pull up this map, even though it doesn't come across that well. We're going to look at the map again. And we're starting with perspective change. And our card for perspective change is this amazing card that tells us that we are part of, we are not separate from, but we are part of divine source, just like everybody else. So this is our perspective change as we're all standing in this group, and this is like a truth we may have known in the mind, but now it's like coming down into the heart. It's coming down into all of our chakras in the body, and we just knowing that we know that we know that we are part of divine source, part of the eternity of that is the ocean. So that's our perspective change that keeps deepening. So it's one of those perspective changes that continues to deepen. Things that are true continue to deepen. Things that are not true, that we get ideas about, just kind of fade away. Inspiration. There's a lot of possibilities that we can do with this piece of new information that we have, that we all have, that we are part of divine source. And one of those things is to say, you know, all of the things that I did that I just wanted to throw out, and, you know, they're all part of, you know, all of these skills that I had, all of these different life veins that I went through, they're all part of this amazing leaf. And if I stay focused on the vein, I can see what it was all about. I can see what all of these changes were. I can see all of my transformations, and I can use any of these skills that I've developed along the way. So I just have inspiration. I have lots of possibilities coming, and I'm going to do the one that I can do next Wednesday.
Renee, is that one where the one butterfly knows all?
Yeah, this is the one where this one right here, this little one's looking out for us. This one's connected. This one is, we're gonna loop it tonight. We're gonna talk about this butterfly as the noose. It is that which connects our soul to source. So this little butterfly helps us understand what's coming through in the bigger picture. And then the creativity, we have a lot of options of what we are creating, but we have to step out of the old thing we created in order to step into the new thing we created. So we have to say, bye, thank you, old condo, I love you, goodbye, I'm moving into a new house. Oh, okay, it's being remodeled right now. Okay, I'll stay in my old house a little bit longer until this one's ready, and then I'll move into the new house. So I'm getting the new house ready as I step into what I see and what I'm trusting being created. So that's, and I'm using creativity and collaboration. And then sustaining is, we have a huge root system. And if we doubt that, we just need to put our feet on the earth and send roots down to the core of the earth. And we know that there are people there that are waiting to help us, waiting to say, yes, I want to collaborate with you. Yes, I want to support you. Yes, you know, I am here for you to sustain you. And so we have to, and we're walking out into new territory. We're trusting the universe. You know, we're trusting the bigger picture. We're trusting that we're part of. We need a root system. And so we need to know who our root system is and who our root system isn't at this point. So, and who's capable of, at this point, being a root system, and who really can't be there yet. And here, it's not that they aren't that, it's just that they don't know they are that. So here is how we contain, how we can find ways to see clearly what would the energies that are coming through, see them clearly, see them tangibly acting out in our life. For me, they're acting out in the Home Depot, but we can see more clearly what is happening as the energy flows through us, and we can see more clearly as the energy flows through our body, and we get clarity. The gift that we get is that we can have, when cosmic energies, intense cosmic energies come, we know that it doesn't have to trigger us, that we have the free will to move forward in a way if we've decided, which I have, and most of you have decided to be divine love, you know, no matter what, then we can move forward as best we can, integrating in the new energies that are helping us become more and more love. And potentiality, knowing that we are in the flow, that we are integrated, that we're more and more aware of that integration of the divine and human aspects of us, the anthropos. 2,000 years ago, Jesus talked about it. Nobody knew what he was talking about. A whole bunch of mistranslations later, we're finally getting to the point where we actually get it. We're fully human, fully divine, masculine and feminine energies within all of us, and moving into our own integrations. And we need to rest sometimes in this to really feel the energies that are supporting us in that beautiful, beautiful state of potentiality that we make our decisions from. We don't make our decisions from the little self that wants to buy a pretty glass shelf. We make our decisions from the part of us that wants to be more love. So here's my potentiality. And so that's our circle, that's our cycle. Anybody have comments on, you know, what this soul portal map of 7 cards means for us today? Anybody get a personal literal message or a metaphorical one they want to talk about? Okay, so we're going to move on. I'm going to be as brief as possible because we're already way over time because I talked way too much at the beginning. We just had that full moon that was on the 26th. Our next new moon, guess what, folks? It's an eclipse. This one's a solar eclipse. The new moons are solar eclipses. So on June 10th. So all of this stuff that we're going through right now is going to be pretty much done by June 10th in the solar eclipse. And so we're getting clearing to set the intention that we're talking about, to be in that potentiality and set the intention moving forward from a place of divine connection. So we're planting seeds. This isn't like, okay, every new moon we plant seeds. We're planting seeds for the next 18 years because the last time we had a solar eclipse in Gemini at 5 degrees with the lunar nodes in the same position they are right now was 18 years ago. So I know that doesn't make any sense if you're not following astrology, but trust me when I say that things cycle around. And so where were you 18 years ago? Where were you 9 years ago? And then moving forward, where do you want to be in 9 years? Where do you want to be in 18 years? Well, those are the seeds we're planting. We're planting long-range seeds, not seeds for the month. Solstice is coming up on the 20th. And that's the longest day in the northern hemisphere. The sun leaves Gemini and goes to water sign Cancer on the 21st, the next day. We have this amazing Saturn-Uranus square on June 14th, and I'll talk more about that next week. Or anyway, that's pretty amazing energy, and it has a lot to do with what the Mary Magdalene class right now is Saturn-Uranus square energy, which is like, I had a professional astrologer do a reading for me, and I started talking about the Mary Magdalene class, and she goes, "Oh, well, that's Saturn and Uranus talking," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow in the Mary Magdalene class. So full moon is happening on the 24th, and this should be a relief. It's in an earth sign. Because it's busy, busy, busy. We're having Rachel Cooley next week. When you guys absolutely loved the angels, when we put angel cards around the soul portal wheel, this woman is amazing. She does this whole angel certification thing. And I was in her group, and she actually helps us breathe in the colors of the archangels. So I'm going to ask her to do that for us, because I think that would be amazing. So I'm going to give her the 7 that I call in, and we're going to get to breathe in the colors of them. Then on June 14th, those of you that saw the soul spiritual awakening, stories of spiritual awakening. You know, Lauren told her story. She told an amazing story, and she's going to be with us on June 14th. She's like very skilled. She's an amazing coach. She does tapping and she does clearing. And so she'll be able to do some amazing clearing with us. And by June 14th, we're going to need it. And then you guys know Annabelle, she pops in here every once in a while. She's from Australia so it's 6 a.m. for her to come to this class. But we know Annabelle, and she's an author now. This is her book, Sacred Rebel. So we're going to talk about what it means to be a sacred rebel, a woman who dares and disrupts. And so we're going to talk to her. And then we're going to do another group soul portal card reading on the 28th, and that's June. This is the link to the Mary Magdalene class. What happened? I think I just went to another. Maybe I better stop share. New share. This is the link. This is what we're doing, what some of us are in the middle of right now. It's through Fraternal Spiritualist Church. Spiritualist means that we're really going in and feeling the energies that are coming in, the divine energies. We're getting help from Mary Magdalene. We're getting help from one of the ministers who just crossed of Fraternal Spiritualist Church. So this is luckily I made this really, really affordable. At this point, it's $25 per class. If you want to jump in and see the class, homework will be, you'll get the homework link and the replay if you pay the $25, and then you'll get the Zoom link for the class. So anybody who wants to jump in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific time for the class, you'll see Carrie, Lupe, and Una and me in that class. I am going to put the registration link in the YouTube for anybody that's watching the replay that wants to jump in. We are in the middle of really looking at the eye of the heart once everything gets cleared out and we can really see what's inside of us, what our next step is, what we're going to plant for in the next 18, it's going to really bloom over the next 18 years. We really want to have clarity on what that is. We're going to do an eye of the heart thing tomorrow, 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So any questions before we start singing our final song? Okay, let's sing our final song. Okay, here we go. Everybody hands up. We're holding hands. We're a virtual circle. We can feel each other. In this circle of love, in this circle of peace, in this circle of love, in this circle of peace, I feel unity, love, security. I feel unity, love, security in this circle of love, in this circle of peace. Hope to see you guys next week.